Hello, and welcome to Crazy Movie Recaps. Today's recap is going to be a South Indian action film from 2021 titled Pushpa, The Rise. A small-time worker rises to the top of sandalwood smuggling in India and makes himself a rich and powerful person. But on the way, he makes quite a few enemies who he has to deal with. Let's get started. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie's with a short narration about how a rare wood called red sandalwood is smuggled from Chennai, India, all the way to China and Japan. This rare red sandalwood is so precious that its price is extremely high in international markets. That's why in Chennai, India, there's an illegal syndicate which cuts down these woods and smuggles them into foreign markets. The people involved in this are filthy rich, and this story is about a man who wants to be on top of it. Pushpa Raj is an ordinary driver at the moment who helps smuggle the woods out of Chennai. Despite being a hot-headed person who never shies away from a fight, Pushpa is a smart individual as he knows how to keep the police happy and not get caught smuggling. A little backstory about Pushpa. He used to work in a simple wood factory, but he didn't stay long there as he didn't like the way his boss asked him to keep his feet down. Pushpa doesn't like being told what to do and hardly respects anyone else, so he quits the job there and then. Another instance, when a lender embarrassed him and his mother in front of the whole village for not paying the loan, he couldn't take the disrespect, so he sold his buffalo and paid the lender his full money. But then he also beat him in front of the entire village to make up for the embarrassment he faced earlier. One day, while waiting to get any sort of job, he gets in a car which offers him good money in return for doing something illegal. Pushpa only cares about money, so he doesn't care if anything is legal or not. The job is to cut down red sandalwood trees and then take them out of the jungle. While cutting down the trees, an informant informs them about the approaching police car. All of the workers start to run, except for Pushpa. He even urges the workers not to get scared and let their hard work go to waste. A top cop who's known to be hard-headed approaches the scene to find all the workers chilling out. When asked if they're cutting down red sandalwood trees, they simply answer that they're hanging out. Pushpa yet again acts with full confidence, which doesn't sit well with the cop, who tries to scare him with a gun. But all the workers get up, encouraged by Pushpa's courage, and manage to scare the police officers away. Seeing how unique of a character Pushpa is, a man named Kesava befriends him. Pretty soon, Pushpa leads the workers and cuts down more trees. But then, the cop returns, and this time, he has brought armed forces. The workers quickly ran away, but Pushpa was not going to run so easily. He takes charge of the vehicle that had the sandalwood and then manages to hide it away from the police. The police take him in custody and beat him to get him to tell them where he hid the vehicle. But despite all the beating, Pushpa simply refuses to say a word and acts like it's nothing. Seeing how tough Pushpa was acting, a police officer claims to know his soft spot. He recalls the story about how his mother got pregnant from an illicit relationship, after which his half-brother disrespected his mother and him. Following his father's death, his half-brother never acknowledged him as a blood brother and threatened him to not even use their family name. Remembering this story, Pushpa loses his attitude for the first time. Meanwhile, the leaders of the smuggling racket in Chennai get to know about Pushpa. The racket in Chennai is managed by three brothers. The youngest brother is Joel Reddy, who basically sees himself as invincible and sleeps with any women he wants by simply threatening them. The middle brother is Jaka Reddy, who is the wisest one and uses his brain. The eldest and the leader of them is Kona Reddy, a ruthless man who without hesitation gave up his hands to simply kill his enemy. The two brothers visit Pushpa and ask him to let them know where he hid the vehicle, but Pushpa asks for $50,000. 5 lakh rupees in return for the information. Joel Reddy tries to scare him into telling the truth, but Pushpa barely budges. Having no other option, they bail Pushpa out, after which Pushpa reveals that he had hid the vehicle into a well. After getting the money, Pushpa attempts to ride on Joel Reddy's car, but gets insulted that he doesn't have the stature to sit in a car. Facing this massive insult, Pushpa instantly decides to buy a new car. Pushpa later takes the car and drives his mom around to show how rich he had become, but his half-brother just comments that he probably did something shady to earn that car. Moving on, Pushpa meets Kona Reddy and strikes a deal. Given how the cop has made smuggling difficult, Kona Reddy wants his men to do something about it, so Pushpa volunteers to take responsibility for smuggling the sandalwood out of Chennai. Joel Reddy is against this idea, but Kona Reddy decides to give Pushpa a chance. Soon, Pushpa starts smuggling the sandalwoods by hiding them in milk trucks, where he keeps the sandalwood on the lower part of the container and fills the above container with milk. The police officers who check the milk trucks fail to find the sandalwood and allow them to get through their checks. This way, Pushpa manages to smuggle the woods without any difficulty, and Kona Reddy is extremely happy about it. He offers Pushpa 5 lakh per truck smuggled, but Pushpa declines the offer and asks only 4%, which comes out to be 4 lakh per truck. The Reddy brothers happily agree to this, but Pushpa later clarifies that taking payment would have kept him as a worker, but now that he has a percentage share, he is a partner in the business. Moving on, Pushpa falls in love with a girl named Shravali, who happens to be the daughter of a truck driver he has assigned to smuggle one of the trucks. Pushpa tries everything to win Shravali's heart, but Shravali simply pays no attention to him. When Kesava asks Shravali to kiss Pushpa in exchange for money, she gets peer pressured by her friends to kiss Pushpa. But when she goes to kiss him, she simply can't do it and starts to cry. When Pushpa asks what's wrong, she clarifies that she wants her first kiss to be with her true love. Meanwhile, another family joins the story. Mangalam Sinu is the man at the top who manages all the smuggling. He's the one who handles the smuggling in India and then sells them to foreign buyers. His wife and brother-in-law are just as sinister and don't shy away from killing anyone who comes in their way. Due to a small problem, Mangalam Sinu asks Kona Reddy to keep his stock of red sandalwood safe in his godown, while he takes care of the police. Kona Reddy agrees to it and puts Pushpa in charge. Moving on, Shravali's father and another driver get caught when the cop finally realizes how they were smuggling the sandalwood. But instead of throwing them in jail, the cop decides to use them against Pushpa. Through them, they get the information on the godown, which holds tons of sandalwood. Kona Reddy later gets informed about it and warns Pushpa to take care of the sandalwoods. With limited time and the police on their way, Pushpa comes up with a plan. He hands Kesava a bag and sends him away. Pushpa then starts throwing away the sandalwoods in the river. Before the police arrive, he, along with his men, manage to throw away all the woods in the river. And when the police arrive, they see nothing and thus can't arrest anyone. Meanwhile, Kesava reaches the dam and hands the bag of money to the dam operator. Before the sandalwoods are washed away further, the dam is closed just in time to keep them safe in one place. Following this, Pushpa manages to make a name for himself among the smuggling syndicate. During a party, he overhears someone saying that Mangalam Sinu has been taking much of the profits for himself. Apparently, Mangalam Sinu only pays Kona Reddy and other smugglers 25 lakhs per truck, but he sells them at a price of 2 crores. Pushpa then talks to Kona Reddy and advises him to ask for more shares. But knowing how powerful and dangerous Mangalam Sinu is, Kona Reddy gets afraid and asks Pushpa to talk to Mangalam Sinu and ask for 50% share. If he agrees to it, Kona Reddy promises to give Pushpa 50% from his share. Meanwhile, Kesava goes to Shravali's father and tells him Pushpa wants to marry his daughter. Given how rich Pushpa has gotten, Shravali's father agrees to it and invites Pushpa and his mother to the engagement ceremony. But during that, Pushpa's half-brother arrives and insults him by saying Pushpa doesn't even have a father or a last name. He even insults Pushpa's mother by saying she probably slept with multiple men. Unable to see her mother get insulted, Pushpa gets in a fight with his half-brother. Just then, Pushpa's mom faints and is taken to the hospital. Enraged by the embarrassment he faced, Pushpa vows to never let anyone disrespect him or his mother ever again. He then vows to by any means become a rich and powerful individual who no one dares to disrespect. When they see Mangalam Sinu asking his brother-in-law to beat a man who just asked him for 50%, he later gets a call from a minister who asks him to forgive the man and let him go. However, Mangalam Sinu lies that he has already killed the man and later kills him for real. Minutes later, Pushpa arrives and asks for 50% share. Despite seeing the fate of the man who did exactly as he's doing now, Pushpa is barely scared. He says that he'll sell his sandalwood to him for 50% share, or else he'll take it somewhere else. Seeing Pushpa's attitude, Mangalam Sinu orders his men to kill him, but it is Pushpa who ends up beating all of them and sends a powerful message that he is not to be messed with. A few days later, he takes his stock of sandalwood and calls Kona Reddy to let him know he's selling their stock to a new buyer instead of Mangalam Sinu. At first, Kona Reddy gets scared about what Mangalam Sinu might do, But when Pushpa says he's selling them for 75% instead of 25%, they get greedy and agree to sell it. As planned, Pushpa will also get 50% out of that 75%. Meanwhile, Shivali's father gets caught by Jolareddy, who beats him up for snitching to the police. But when he finds out that he's the father of Shivali, Jolareddy promises to let him go if he gets to sleep with Shivali. Eager to save her father, Shivali agrees to do so, but before that, she goes to Pushpa and asks him to sleep with her. As she said earlier in the movie, she wants her first kiss to be her true love. Knowing that Shivali also loves him, Pushpa decides to help her. He takes Pushpa to Jolareddy and then beats him to a pulp. Pushpa beats him so hard that Jolareddy is barely able to stand on his feet. Pushpa then asks Jolareddy to be a true man and deal with him personally when he gets back to his feet. When Konareddy sees his brother in the hospital, he asks who did this to him, but Jolareddy keeps silent because he now wants to be a true man and deal with Pushpa on his own. But Konareddy already knows that it was Pushpa. So after picking up the payment for a recent delivery, Pushpa gets double-crossed by Konareddy, who no longer wants to give 50% of his share to Pushpa. Pushpa gets his eyes blocked by a cloth and is about to be killed, but just then, Mangalam Sinu's men attack them and shoot Konareddy to death. Mangalam Sinu didn't like how he was treated, so now he wants the Reddy brothers and Pushpa dead. But Pushpa, despite being blinded, manages to fight some of the goons and finally frees himself. Before Mangalam Sinu's brother-in-law could kill Jakareddy, Pushpa makes his grand entrance, beats up the goons and saves Jakareddy's life. The same person who just minutes ago wanted him dead. Pushpa now has Mangalam Sinu's brother-in-law, who keeps boasting that he can't be killed or else it'll start a war. Just then, Pushpa gets a call from Mangalam Sinu, who wants to talk things out and asks for his brother-in-law to be let go. However, Pushpa lies that he has already killed his brother-in-law before killing him for real, exactly how Mangalam Sinu did. At the funeral for Konareddy, the minister, a few other syndicate members, and Mangalam Sinu arrive to discuss the matter. Mangalam Sinu blames the Reddy brothers for disrespecting him and the syndicate by selling their stock elsewhere. But then, Pushpa reveals how Mangalam Sinu has been taking most of the profits for himself. After that, Pushpa offers to handle all of the business of the syndicate. Jakareddy also backs Pushpa as he was saved by him. Seeing how much profit they can make, the rest of the members also agree to sell their stock of sandalwood through Pushpa, leaving Mangalam Sinu completely out of the business. Soon, Pushpa becomes the head of the syndicate and becomes more powerful and more wealthy, and with that, he plans to get married to Shivali. But then, we see a new villain in the story. A new cop named Singh has arrived in Chennai, and he's more like a criminal than a cop. He doesn't fear killing anyone and will do anything that fits his cause. With the new cop's arrival, Pushpa decides to visit him and hands him a bag full of money to keep away from his business. Pushpa thought Singh would be happy, but Singh instead asks his men to count all the money to see if the amount is exact. Singh then clarifies that he felt disrespected by the way Pushpa offered him money. He goes further to say that the thing that separates him and Pushpa is class. He can buy an expensive shirt, but he'll still be in a lower class than him. Singh provokes Pushpa about how he has no father, and then arrests him on the charge of bribing a police officer. But Singh offers to let him go under one condition. For the first time in his life, Pushpa had met someone of his level and he didn't know how exactly to act. So he apologizes to Singh and offers him the money by properly addressing him as Sir. Following that day, Pushpa always made sure to keep Singh happy. He agreed to do whatever Singh asked, and even made a friend out of him. Even on his wedding day, when everyone was waiting for him, Pushpa was out having drinks with Singh. But all the sucking up that Pushpa did was for nothing. He saw that Singh was not to be messed with, and with the wedding coming closer, he didn't want to risk getting arrested. So, he acted friendly with Singh until the day of his wedding. Pushpa points a gun at Singh and asks him to strip. Pushpa too takes off his clothes, and when they're both without any clothes, Pushpa notes the difference between them. Pushpa says that despite them both being nude, Pushpa will still be respected, while Singh will never get that respect. The difference between them is not the brand of cloth they wear, but in the lifestyle they have. After teaching Singh his lesson, Pushpa attends his wedding, while Singh, who's full of anger, is probably thinking how to redeem himself. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this recap, please let us know your thoughts. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more crazy recaps.